Oh, well, I gotta go with it now. Hey, everybody, it's your girl, Pajama, with Pajama Live. And today we have a really good, interesting slew of TV shows to review this week. Hey, there he is. And I was going to say, I was only going to have to deal with one of my brothers, but two today. And so let's say hey to our brother Patrick.
Hey, everybody. I'm glad you're here. Really looking forward to talking about these things.
All right. And on the right is this guy right here, America's favorite, David. Say hey to the people.
Hakuna Matata, everybody. Great to be with you on a sultry, hot July night. Great to see you. Looking forward to talking to you about some strange new things.
Yes, and some dramatic. But first up, let's have some giggles and some laughs with Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne. I think that's her name. In Platonic. Check them out.
Oh, whoa.
What?
What?
Will's getting a divorce.
Who's Will?
He's an old friend of mine, honey.
With benefits?
No. Ew. What?
She's gone for 5 years, and now she's coming to our party?
Yes.
It's a little fucked up.
Well, men and women don't really hang out with each other at our age.
True.
It's so weird to be close with someone and all of a sudden you're complete strangers.
Why did you come out tonight?
Wanted to see you, catch up.
No. That is not why you came out. You came out to have fun. This is not a meet people bar. This is a trauma bar. I can't be dating right now. It is humiliating.
So I didn't mean to come across like a dick. I just wanted to sound competent in front of my friends, you know?
You're not cut out to take care of a lizard?
I'm actually not cut out to take care of really anything, including myself. It's a huge reason why me and Audrey got divorced. Will you take it?
Under no circumstances am I taking that lizard.
So you were just driving home and you thought we needed a bearded dragon?
I really like this. I love when these two get together. They did Neighbors 1 and 2 and are just, you can tell they really enjoy each other. And so this shines through the performances. And it's a realistic story about people our age. I mean, you're married with kids and trying to find adult friends is tougher when you get older. So, sometimes you look back to your college friends and luckily you find good ones.
Or me, but you.
But I really enjoyed Platonic. Pat, what did you think?
I do enjoy the chemistry between Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne. It's a good feel, and it felt like a Judd Apatow project. It did, which is kind of the way the humor rolled. I would say that I was not happy with the pacing. It seemed like it was a little too long and maybe it's because I've grown up with the Superbads and all the other movies that Judd Apatow did that were 2 hours. You got point, and it just kept going through. And maybe it's taught me to look for something a little faster because they only got 2 hours to tell the story, whereas this has a whole season to tell the story. I enjoyed it, and I got through four episodes. I didn't get any further just because of time constraints and windstorms in Kansas. But I enjoyed the chemistry. I thought the jokes were all funny. They were on spot, I mean, it had a good feel to it. There was a lot of weird, the weird stuff you run into, like when you get to be over 30. And you've got baggage, and they've got baggage, and we've all got baggage at that point, And so I did enjoy it. Like I said, just the pacing was a little weird for me. So other than that, it was great.
Yeah. Hey, David, what did you think?
Oh, I really enjoyed this. I would like to see Seth Rogen maybe try some other kind of character, maybe an uptight, conservative, I don't know, federal employee. Or
do an Adam Sandler.
What's that?
Do an Adam Sandler where you do something dramatic or whatever, just really get out of your comfort zone, because that's his comfort zone.
Yes, I would like to see that just from a artistic thing, and that's really kind of a nickel and dimer. I did think it was good. Their chemistry together is fun. Rose Byrne, which you might remember her at the very beginning of Attack of the Clones, dying with some really terrible, bad dialogue that made no sense. Don't apologize when you give
Yeah.
the life up for somebody. But she's fun in this. They've got good chemistry. I enjoyed it. And I got to tell you, never thought about buying a former nursing home to turn into a house,
Yeah.
but that was pretty neat. I kind of would have done it for the space. I'm not lying on that. Although that poltergeist in one of the rooms was a little mischievous. That wasn't, but it was neat. This was a good show. Bravo. Looking forward to seeing more. I got through 3 or 4 myself. I don't remember. So I got a few more, I think, before the season's done. But this was a winner. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think once you get through all the episodes, there is a more dramatic tension that comes in the later episodes. So you do need to get through all the way through the episodes, and you'll see the evolution of their characters. So I don't want you to think that it's still the same, but those two being naughty together is still like really super fun to watch. And so definitely it's not for kids. I wouldn't say it's not for kids. So definitely check out Platonic. Okay, up next. Oh man, it is getting more and more just strange with the Secret Invasion. Let's check it out.
Are you a leader of Skrulls or a West End?
As I was watching all the news coverage of those guys' heroics over in the States, I kept having this feeling that someone I know had something to do with getting them all together.
You and I both know that's Gravik.
And I believe that I can secure an amnesty for the 1 million of us to remain.
What Gravik needs, what Gravik doesn't need, that's none of your concern. I'm the one telling you to kill Fury.
You are by far and away the greatest mistake.
Great trailer from our producer.
That was solid. It's pretty solid.
That was solid.
Yeah.
All right, Patrick, give us some knowledge or drop some knowledge on.
Well, there was some really interesting throwbacks. For those of you that don't remember Iron Man 3, where you had I'm having a brain fart now, but with the guy from Confidential, God, I can't remember his name, where he was Killian, whatever his name was, and he had this he had developed this product that would let them heal, and they all got
burn them up from the inside.
Yeah, until you learn to regulate. Can you regulate? I remember that line, and you see them using that, and then you got to see Gravik use some Groot stuff this week. Pretty interesting. Yes,
yeah,
and you saw that in the trailer, and you saw that like in episode 2 when they were kind of looking at their screens and they were showing some of the stuff.
I was thinking he was Sharktopus or something. Like,
it was, and you saw that like in some of the screens they were showing some of the things. And traditionally, the Super Skrull used the Fantastic Four powers, but since the Fantastic Four haven't quite made it into the MCU yet, we're going with other characters and other powers, perhaps Groot being one of them, which is kind of weird. But okay, sure, let's move on. But you saw that back then, and if you paid attention, you would have seen that, and you saw that, and like, oh, hey, there it is. Really interesting. 2 more episodes to wrap this up. Kind of curious to see where they go. You got to see some maybe death of another character. You don't know where you're going with a lot of this stuff because you've got people that first off are Skrulls, and so you know who's who. Obviously, Nick Fury found that out the hard way a little bit this episode, and then you got this option where you get shot, but you can heal yourself. It's not that big a deal. It's not quite Wolverine, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
So really interesting stuff. I'm kind of curious to see where they're going to go with it. We've deviated quite a bit from the actual original source material, but it still works within the framework of the MCU as it is right now. And based on what characters they've got coming in, if you're really interested in MCU stuff, the pictures of Deadpool 3 with Hugh Jackman in the original Wolverine costume, the yellow and the blue, pretty solid. Super
Yeah,
cool.
but I heard they stopped production on that.
Well, they have to stop. Everybody's on strike. You know what? Pay those people. Good Lord.
Yeah. Okay, hold off on that comment because we'll come back to that.
We will.
David?
The show, there are so many turns and twists. You thought that Khaleesi Kira was out, and then she came back very quickly, so that was good. Director Krennic, though, he might have bought the farm and might not be coming back. We'll have to see if we lose him. Yeah, some spoilers, but everybody should be watching this if they're watching us. They want to keep up with it. Good stuff, intense. Man, I'm glad to see Don Cheadle's character of Rhodey wasn't quite what we thought. And I think you called it last week with some concerns about his behavior. Neat stuff. You don't know where it's going, man. This is the ultimate shell game that Marvel is putting there. You don't know who's who and what's what. Not even my man Poirot from Agatha Christie on Masterpiece Theater could tell us what's going to happen next. I can't wait.
Oh, brother, not the Poirot.
Because
you reach way back in the vault on that.
I did.
But yeah, I like this episode. I was kind of, I don't know about the ending. I don't know. I hope that somebody's character didn't really die. But it's Marvel, so there's always a way to bring somebody back. And the discussion I thought was really interesting as an African American that Gaia and Talos had about what he was gonna do. If we just work hard and we just show them who they are, they'll trust us and they'll accept us. And I'm thinking to myself, man, have you read human history? That ain't worked in America. that hasn't worked in other countries with immigrants. So, I'm not in favor of an alien takeover. I understand Gaia's infuriation. Is that what the word?
Well, considering we have Nick Fury in that's even funny.
Infuriation with him about his plan. So that's the difference between generational differences and looking at how do you become a part of society that's trying to lock you out. Do you be the good minority, the model minority? Or do you fight? So I just think that's an interesting dynamic that's kind of unspoken underneath this. Or I could just be projecting. I don't care. That's what I got out of it. But it was a really good episode. And so I definitely think it's more violent. So, parents, watch your kids with this. But overall, solid kind of a thriller version of a Marvel TV show. So I say definitely check out Secret Invasion. We're on the last third of the episodes. So we got to see how it ends up. Okay, up next, these guys' favorite Star Trek show.
Yep.
Star Trek Strange New Worlds, our midpoint review. Let's take a peek.
Plead guilty to knowingly submitting false information to Starfleet.
Dishonorable dismissal.
You need to get to the bridge.
Ma'am, not to be impolite, but who are you and what the hell are you doing on my ship?
10 minutes ago, I was on my ship with my captain, and now I'm here.
So what, I gotta be the one to vote against doing the crazy maneuver? Does that sound like me?
Please, Listen to reason.
Reason doesn't exist here. You'll learn that.
You know, to fix her, you must be a healer, a doctor.
Yes, maybe. I feel strange.
You were injured.
What's happened to me? You were healed. Only whoever did this seems to have made you human. What the
Another good quality trailer. All right. Patrick, come on with it.
Oh my God, so good, so good. Everything. Okay, there was one out of the most recent episodes you just shown. There's one that was not great. I was not a big fan of and you're gonna love this, Pam. The time travel one was not great. It was the weakest of the group for sure. But oh my God, that last episode with Spock getting human. There's so much in this that is so good. It does a lot of interesting takes, helps you maybe fill in blanks you had watching the original. I'm rewatching the original right now, by the way. And so it helps you fill in blanks on how things got to where they were. So good. I mean, and Ensign Ortega is rapidly becoming one of my most favorite characters in the entire Star Trek universe. Oh, she's amazing. You can make that face all you want. She's still badass. She flies the ship, even when she don't know how to fly the ship. I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff going on there. And the whole girl conversation with human Spock was just priceless. It was delightful. I love everything about this. For those of you that are watching us, you should be watching this. It is absolutely one of the best Star Trek iterations in a while. I liked it better than Discovery by far. I liked it better than Picard, and I love Jean-Luc Picard. I mean, and that was just a nostalgia fest. But this is all new stuff. It's going back to the episodic version of the originals, where you had each week was its own story, and I love that because Next Gen, they got into some big long series, season long type of conversations, like the Borg. The Borg was pretty much at the end in the very first episode. It was a long slog for the Borg. The Borg was always a present threat, and you were always coming back there. This is great because you can turn in, watch the show, and then leave, and you feel like you completed. Yes, because I'm old. I remember the old days when you'd watch a show. And it was you might have a seasonal cliffhanger, like, oh, who shot JR? But other than that, every episode was its own story. And this is great because you don't have to stay abreast of it or do like me and my wife like to do on these longer series, watch an entire season in one sitting, because otherwise you have to stop and wait. And it's the story flows much better when you tell it at a sitting. So love it.
David?
Oh man, this is incredible. To me, this is Star Trek at its finest. You think you're going to go back in time, and it's going to be just they have taken a story going as a prequel and made it relevant and new and honored today, a 21st century conversation. You don't feel like the characters, you barely knew the characters on that Enterprise. Nurse Chapel and Spock, but certainly Nurse Chapel is clearly the most changed from what we saw in the original show. That's okay. She was two people on that show anyway. She was the original number one.
Yeah.
She's the first lady of Star Trek, so she's a title. I absolutely love it. I did chuckle anytime there's time travel at this point. I absolutely chuckle when I think of Pam immediately with great fondness and joy. Exactly. But I'm giving you love in my heart. You can give me that dirty face all you want. I don't care. This was incredible. I just think it's wonderful. You mentioned Ortega. First time I watched Strange New Worlds, I think my big criticism was, man, it is really estrogen heavy on this show. Maybe there are not enough male characters. And that was kind of my initial criticism. Then as you watch this show, you don't care because the characters are good. They're well acted. They're well created. Men, women, it doesn't matter. They're good. If you give me good characters, people that I can kind of get interested in, invested in, doesn't matter. And this Star Trek has given it to us at warp speed factor 5, man. This is incredible. 6.5. All right. You're beating me there. But I am loving this. The T'Pring stuff, that's a great piece. Oh, I could go on, and I probably have gone on a little too long with my filibuster. Cam, tell us how much you agree, and we should be watching this every week.
I can't wait to hear her opinion.
I know you cannot. It's okay. I don't love it yet. That doesn't mean that I won't, but I just still can't connect for some reason. I just cannot connect. But one person that I do connect with, Ethan Peck, is fine as boop. He's so fine. And that voice is so amazing. But I don't know what it is about this show that I just have not been able to really latch on to it. I just can't get there. However, do I think it's the episodic way that they're doing it is very refreshing. I think that's a good path for them to take and probably will result in some longevity for them if they keep up interesting stories and interesting ways to tell the stories. I think could be very successful for him. I just can't get there yet, but that doesn't mean that I want it to end. Just I'm waiting for something to click for me to really like connect me to the characters and the stories. But what criticism I had of the Spock episode this week? Okay, but when he came up and the beings had taken his Vulcan DNA, why was his hair all cut into a fancy new style? Did they restyle his hair?
It grows different when you're all human.
It was so hilarious to me. That was so silly that he had this cute modern haircut. I was like, what? There's a Vulcan DNA makes their hair a Caesar cut? That's ridiculous. See,
whoa. This is okay.
Now.
I'm gonna register a protest that when you can lay out stuff with the producer to support your opinions, I'm gonna have to start. I guess I need to send Tony.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Producer.
I'm gonna register a complaint.
Come on, that was
HR, anyone?
You know that. I'm the HR. I'm the COO of this company.
okay, Elon. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
All right. That was hilarious as a bullshit. But I thought that it was fun and hope to see more. And I just hope. Okay, so maybe this is my problem because some of that stuff was not related to the original Star Trek and kind of messed up the storyline. I know there was one I was like, wait a minute, how is this going to impact the original storyline? That kind of changes some stuff. So I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Like what?
So
examples.
I knew you were going to ask me, and
well,
I'm having
you should
a
have been prepared.
I'm having a brain.
Here's Chapel not knowing who T'Pring was.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a minute. Then
you think
come
about
back in the original.
Think about there's only two members of the bridge crew on original series that are currently on Strange New Worlds. You've only got Uhura, and you've also got Spock. That's the only two out of the original. So everybody else is new people.
No, but that episode with Spock could potentially have some continuity problems with that in the original Star Trek. So that's where I was like, wait a minute. And I remember saying where I was watching, I was like, wait, that messes up the original episode. So,
I'm shocked that you're talking about continuity here with Vader and Obi-Wan fighting in the Kenobi show and him knowing Leia and you're just like, you just got to sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, I sure
You
did.
hold on to
I
Star Trek a
stand
little
by
too
it.
much.
I stand by it. And because I just, and you too, I tell you, everybody's not always consistent. Y'all just got to get that in your heads that you can feel one thing about one way is not consistent with
I
some
try
way.
to be consistent in all ways.
Well, that's
Even
not
to the point that I'll
reality.
go off the cliff.
So,
David,
I don't always do it.
solidarity right there, buddy.
well, that's
the key.
whatever for you.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Your response is perfect. That was a great comeback. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I win. Whatever.
How about this? Whatever, bro. Really cap it off. And because there were some big things happening in entertainment this week, we have, it's official, the Screen Actors Guild went on strike along with the writing actors, the Writing Guild, the Writers Guild of America. So this hasn't happened since literally the
60s.
This 1960. And I believe that it is true that they should protest what these companies are trying to do. I think AI is the greatest threat to entertainment, and that they should fight. And then I also read that the companies are trying to extend it. They want to extend it to bankrupt the people and until that, so to make them come back to the table. So it's going to be tough on those of us who love new stuff. We're not going to get new stuff for probably realistically maybe 9 months to a year, depending on how long the strike takes. And then after that, then for productions to ramp back up again. So that's going to put a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows in jeopardy. Yeah. So, but Bob Iger coming out, he's a freaking billionaire, and he makes $75,000 a day. Talking about what's a writer makes $69,000 a year. Oh, there's I'm like, man, be quiet. Give $1 billion to both unions and allow them to have your access to your wealth and make it really equitable. So, I'm not with the companies, the AMTMP, is that it? Yeah, I think it's AMTMP.
Well, AI is an existential threat across the board in all.
Yeah.
You have first-year associates at law firms competing against artificial intelligence, writing a brief. That's true. You do have that in places. Yeah. There was a commercial for a nonprofit trying to grab people's attention on the issues of homelessness and hunger. And the face and the voices all were artificially created, and it tells you that at the end. Creepy and spooky. It's not creepy like Orville Redenbach was a couple of decades ago when he was dead and they brought him back in a CGI way, and that was just like, that's just weird and just tacky, but it's just unnerving. And I will be a bit of an 8-track guy. Maybe the rest of the world will be joining me in this. There is a danger. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should do something. And everything should be about people, helping people get an opportunity to grow and show talent and survive. It's not the other way around, because these machines, they might come to the realization they don't need us down the road.
They always do. Well, and the thing is, this is about fairness. This is literally taking somebody's face and image and then saying, oh, we can use this forever. Yeah. And we don't have to pay you for any time we use it indefinitely and for all time. No, that's some low-key stuff. For all time, always. That's what they want to do with people. Is now,
as a member of a labor union myself, an employee of a labor union, not just a member, but an employee of the labor union, I will tell you that when these companies want to try to make the commentary about how these greedy employees want too much money. The reason they want this money is because they see how much the employer who doesn't do the work,
Right,
who basically shows up, plays golf, does this thing with these guys, makes it work. He's charting the course of the entire company. Fine, but you know what? The guys who make the engine run are the people you need to pay, because without the engine,
exactly.
you can chart all the courses you want, but your ship ain't going to move. So perhaps maybe, and to be really honest, I got to tell you, I was shocked, stunned, and super appreciative of, do you know who the Screen Actor Guild's president is right now?
Yep. The nanny herself.
Yep.
The nanny, Fran
The
Drescher.
nanny, Fran
She
Drescher.
was a firebrand when her speech, and I got it, and I feel for her, and I felt more a connection to her than any time she's actually been an actress.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what? She's right. These
Yeah.
people, the business has changed, and these people to act like they want to act like, oh, well, residuals just count on broadcast TV. You know how much broadcast TV I watch a week?
Yeah.
2 hours. And during the football season, it might be 4 hours.
Right.
Because I got to watch live football. But other than that,
Yeah.
that's the only reason I keep my satellite dish. I wouldn't even keep my satellite dish if it wasn't for the fact that sports is on that versus, and I know I could get YouTube TV. I've had people try to sell me on that, buddies and things, but it's a different environment. Yeah. It's a tectonic shift in the way that the money is made for these people. And if you're either with one of two parties. There's two sides to be on, just like a lot of things. You're either going to be part of the people that are trying to make the material, or you're going to be the people that are just trying to skim the money off the top. Pick a side.
Well, or use people's talents and benefit off their talents and then not pay them. That's a story as old as time. And that's pretty much what they're doing is.
It's the nature of ownership and management. I've never heard an owner of a company once say they wanted to give somebody a raise. I've never heard anybody say they wanted to give anybody.
Ben and Jerry did.
Ben and Jerry?
Yep.
Well, they do make good doggy ice cream.
Wow, look at that. Boom. What a unplanned sponsorship that was.
Yeah.
Sponsor.
Come on, Ben and Jerry's. Give us a sponsorship.
Hook up some money. Come on.
Let us endorse your product. We clearly like ice cream.
You can't see the lower half of me. You'd understand that I like ice cream.
Well, and I just think these corporate people are just becoming so ridiculously greedy. I mean, and this not just impacts, the writers and the actors. This is the craftspeople. This is the boom operators, the carpenters, the hair and makeup, the grip, the assistants. It's a whole lot of people being supported by this. And so it has to be serious, because I'm sure they've taken into account that this will really have an impact. But you know what happened in the 1960s? That's how they started getting residuals, because of the Screen Actors Guild and the Writing Guild of America joined forces. That's how they were able to get paid after their stuff was broadcast over and over and over and over. So they're going to have to come up with a new solution. You notice they keep saying, they want to say it's an old-fashioned, environment.
It's not.
But then they've adopted the new way. But they want to still pay them for the old way. No, you've made the switch to streaming. So pay your people who are doing the creative effort. So I think we're all in agreement on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also this week came out the Emmy Award nominations. And guess what? All of our favorite shows got a Emmy nomination. The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, The Bear. I mean, just countless. It's been some really, when the list came out, I was like, wow, this is a really great list. And a lot of things that I'm sure the National Academy of Television consulted us on their Emmy. They watched our show. because it was really good to see the Emmy nominations this year. So I'm definitely going to be watching them this year, and probably won't have to look at very many shows to see what has been nominated. But yeah, great work. Did you guys catch the Emmy nominations?
I have not. I
Yeah.
don't. I'd heard a rumor that Lizzo and Jack Black were being nominated for their cameos.
Oh,
The Mandalorian. I don't know if that. Yeah, I don't know if that was just a rumor or something but there was talk that Disney was going to be nominating them, but I haven't looked at it close enough to make a commentary one way or another on.
Yeah.
The one thing I would say, looking at them, is that I really think The Bear gets miscategorized as a comedy.
Yeah, I kind of was like,
not
what?
a comedy. It's much more drama than it was
Yeah.
a comedy. I understand it's that weird hybrid dramedy, but it's definitely more drama than comedy.
Yeah,
but it's in the comedy category, so find it. It's an amazing show for those of you that are watching that have not seen it. I can't recommend it enough. It's one of the best things I've seen in the past 5 years.
So let's see. I was trying to see.
Oh my God, she's looking over her glasses. She must be really reading, guys. Look at this.
I am. I know, right? But
don't use your glasses.
I know.
I'm pointing it out.
I know. Yeah, I think Obi-Wan Best Limited or Anthology. So that's really good. And I don't see Lizzo and what's the name in here, but yeah, The Bear. Yeah. But yeah, it is so many Andor Best Writing. So, and the one I knew it would, but I just is Succession getting all those nominations. I just
it's the water cooler show.
I can't stand that mess. And I know people will say, well, it's a really great show. No, it ain't. But The Last of Us, I think we reviewed The Last of Us. That got quite a few. So Pedro Pascal is in two nominated shows. That's fantastic. So definitely, it's going to be an exciting Emmys, and you definitely want to check those out. We'll cover them right before, but it's going to be interesting because of the writer's strike. Yeah. So, and the actor's strike. So I don't know if they will do them on schedule or if they'll have to postpone everything until there's a resolution. So we'll see.
Nobody's going to show up and no one's going to write the show.
Yeah, I mean, people they can't even, actors cannot.
That's what I'm saying. No one's showing up.
Yeah, so I don't know if they'll just have a YouTube thing. They just will show the winners or what. I don't know, but definitely let's say hey to Tim Windsor. He popped in to say hello, and we're glad to see him. And if you're out there, like and subscribe to PJama Life and get more fun reviews of movies, TV shows, and entertainment, pop culture talk. So we are here each week at 9 on Saturdays. Come back and check us out. Hey, fellas, say goodnight to the people.
Good night, people.
So long, everybody. Have a great week. Be safe out there and find something fun to take your mind away from some of the stress, or if you're out there too much in that hot sun. It's a hot day across the country this week. So
yeah, and we're under that heat dome. And come and check us out. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.